Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Aftermath. My name is Ian, and welcome back. This one is going to be another one with just Dylan and I for right now. Again, like we said in the last episode, Ethan's kind of in transit between moving out and stuff like that. So, again, he's a little all over the place. Right. Bear with him. So, anyways, this one is going to be heavy, yeah. I think. So, fair warning for any of those who are usually are down for a lighthearted time. I feel like this one may get a little heavy with consciousness.
Maybe a little. Took a look at a little classic from 1995, directed by a certain Mamoru Oshii.
Yep.
And man,
oh, dude,
it's so good. I'm never gonna get tired of this fucking movie.
Yeah, this is the original Ghost in the Shell, right? Mm-hmm. Okay, so before we continue, or start, I guess, you and I have watched a portion of Standalone Complex.
Yeah. So
I know this is like the starting movie, mm-hmm. but where in like the timeline does Standalone Complex, does it happen after all of what we just watched, or is that like a before thing, or a?
It's just its own thing. It's another iteration of the series.
Got it. So it's not like in the same timeline or anything?
No.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, the events in this movie are separate from those in the show.
Right. Okay. Interesting. Because I've liked the aesthetic of the show. Mm-hmm. We've watched a pretty good portion of it. Yeah. And we have watched this movie before.
Yeah.
You and I.
It was a long time ago.
Time ago. And it's one of those scenarios where not only was it, we watched it in Japanese, mm-hmm. English subbed.
Yeah. I've watched the movie with the dub.
Right.
And of course, almost anyone you ask is going to tell you that you should never go for dub.
Right, of course.
But to those people, I say fuck off, because Cowboy Bebop exists.
Oh
and
my
so does Gurren
gosh.
Lagann.
There are some out there that are exceptions to the rule.
Dubs have only gotten better.
Right.
But for this one, you want to go with the subs.
Got it.
Because it's
vastly superior.
I mean, they've still got the same voice actors for Standalone Complex, with the exception of the Major, who was voiced by someone else in the movie.
Okay.
But, you know.
Well, regardless, I remember we watched this, mm-hmm. and not only was it in a different language, which for me already, I subvocalize when I read. So for me, it's hard to read subtitles that happen fast a lot of times, because my brain can't quite keep up. I can't read that fast a lot of times.
You'll get there.
Or I can read, but I can't comprehend. I've gotten better, but I still don't think I'll ever be great at it. It's just one of those things that just my brain doesn't work that way. So it's like I've gotten better over time of like understanding it, but I don't think it doesn't quite click the same way that just hearing my own language does.
Yeah.
Which I think is probably most people. Regardless, the first time we watched this, I think I was keeping up sort of, but I don't think I was quite keeping up. I don't think I was comprehending everything that was going on.
Yeah.
But I
think I definitely had a better grip on it this time.
I think
as opposed to last time.
I was watching it for the movie. Mm. I wasn't watching it for the context. Right. You know what I'm saying?
You were here for spectacle.
Yes. And I think now, even though it has been a large span of time since
substantial.
Yeah.
Sure.
I still remember the events of the movie, and I get the overall premise of it.
Yeah. And
then I was like really focusing on the dialogue, or at least as best I could. There's still some conversations that were happening so fast, and certain subtitles were moving and trucking on, and I was like, I'm lost. But I was keeping... Wait, stop! Yeah, wait, everyone, slow down! I think I did a better job this time, and I was really comprehending. I think we took a couple breaks every now and then just so that way I could like reacclimate myself with what's going on, which I think helped me out understand better.
Let's give him a gold star, folks. He got his reading comprehension
right,
grade
dude.
up.
I'm doing great. But this go around, I think I really understood the breadth of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I think I understood the premise of it last time, but I don't think I understood all the details, what made the story great. You know what I'm saying? And so this go around, I think I really locked down on that.
Good.
And man, it is so good.
I love it.
I already realized that there's so many characters that are a lot cooler than I thought they were.
The entire Section 9 team
Yes.
are the only group of characters that I know the names of, every single one, like verbatim.
Right. Well, they make such a good impact. Like, they're just so great.
And that's the thing. Like, the ones you see in the original 1995 movie, that's not even the whole team.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Wow.
They bring the rest of them out in a standalone complex.
Yeah.
And they really flesh them out, too.
That's awesome. Well, this movie hits on some very interesting premises. First that I can remember right off the bat was the idea of that trash guy who has a picture, and it's of his daughter, and he keeps saying this phrase, and just the idea of what we're talking about here, again, just so let me start over for a second. For the people who don't know at home,
Get your mind right.
Ghost in the Shell is a not too distant future kind of, it is what would you call that?
What you mean?
The start of cyberpunk vibes. The start of like synthetic human.
The beginning of the Blade Runner era.
Yes, the beginning of Blade Runner type of vibe, if you can imagine.
Yeah.
Half human, half machine, kind of like.
Mankind is in the process of becoming cyberized.
Yes, and it's also grungy and still dirty, but also refined in some way. It's cool.
Yeah.
So you have that element of it where there's already this like, people battling with like who they are, kind of vibe. And this is what I was talking about at the top.
The nature of the soul.
Yeah, and then what is consciousness kind of thing, which we'll get into later. But in this one instance that we're talking about, you have this guy that is basically committing crimes in the movie, or what would be considered that. I think he's stealing information or something, or he's
stealing information, committing like political faux pas.
Yeah, doing something along those lines, and he's being like tracked down because he's kind of leaving a breadcrumb trail for himself.
Hacking into people.
But the guy seems normal. He seems...
the garbage truck guy.
The garbage truck guy. He seems like an average guy. He has a wife and a daughter. They're in the midst of a divorce because of an affair.
Right.
And that's the story. He gets caught by the police and gets interrogated, and come to find out, no, that's true. And it's not because he was making it up. It's because he honestly believed it.
Yeah, someone had implanted these memories, 10 years worth of memories into this man's head.
Yes. And so this guy thought that he was, and he's sitting there, and the characters already are so, between character to character, our main character, the major lady,
Motoko,
she already has this kind of like dead stare most times, as just like
kind of aloof,
very critical, like I wouldn't say not critical,
focused.
Yeah, like analyzing, like an analysis mode. She's like constant like wide-eyed and kind of scary looking.
Yeah.
So we have characters that go between like looking more normal, that are like far on one spectrum, and this guy is just sitting here and is like wide-eyed,
grips with
like
the situation,
gobsmacked, because he's coming to grips with the situation of like, you don't have a wife, you don't have a daughter, there was no affair, you have lived in this one-bedroom apartment for 10 years, and then not only that, they're like, but it's the way they get to it. It's the like, what's your wife's name? What's your daughter's name? What does she look like?
Yeah.
And again, like, you have been showing people this picture. What is this picture of? Tell me your daughter's name. And he's sitting here and he's like almost crying.
Because he can't do it.
Because there's
not
no
real.
Exactly. Once he gets faced with the actual evidence of it, it's like, oh wow.
And of course, the poor fucker's like, okay, how can I get rid of these memories? It's like, well, with where our technology's at right now, there have only been 2 successful instances of removal. But I cannot recommend it to you.
Wow, dude.
So the alternative of even trying to get this shit out of your head is worse.
Wow.
Than just having to live with it.
And I didn't pick up on that. That's traumatizing.
It's awful.
And just to kind of farther hit it home even further, I guess, is the picture that he's showing to his coworker and to the police officers and stuff is of him and his dog.
Mm-hmm.
And he's just sitting there with like a camera, like kind of like a selfie type vibe. And and he's like, it's my daughter. She's beautiful. She's
Your
my
daughter is a
image.
dog.
And then of course the camera cuts to the photo, and you're like, oh, this guy, he can't, because again, it's like you said, it's all implanted. And then of course for me that messes my head up, because it's like, for me, like the morality of it goes like, you can't. If I was a police officer talking to this guy, I couldn't incriminate this guy.
No,
he's doing. I mean, he's obviously not. He's breaking the law, but it's like
he was just
his whole life is a lie.
Know any better.
Exactly, and it's like, and again, the only thing I told to Dylan was, I was like, the only thing you can do at that point is just try and rehabilitate him and send him on his way. It's like, oh, dude, oh, that's tough. And of course, like that heavy tone is a big part of the movie. It is not. Does not tread lightly on
creating a future where these baffling situations can happen is one of the coolest parts of it to me.
Right. The idea of it and the possibility of all that is so cool to me. It's so cool, but it is terrifying.
Yeah.
I love the idea of synthetic humans, of like being able to like cyberize yourself and make it look natural. That idea to me looks so cool. The prosthetics of stuff, and
why the fuck is it taking so long for you to get to go to the show?
In our defense, like prosthetic limbs for like amputee patients have even gotten even crazier with how they've been able to tap into the actual like brain function, and you can actually function like a normal like functioning hand, that's even crazy to me.
We've got function just about down. It's just the look that we need to nail.
Of course. And again, but still, just the, I saw a video, or I saw a video on TikTok or something. I forgot what it was. It was like a brief little something, and it was like, they have gotten to the point now. I could be paraphrasing, or I could be misquoting this. Obviously, I'm not a scientist. Don't take my words as that, please. They've gotten the ability, because obviously they have like done the whole genome thing where they've like been able to write it all out.
Yeah.
I think they're getting to the point now where they can actually like take your consciousness or your or I guess your, I don't want to say your brain. Like I said, I can't remember what it was, but they can basically take, I think, what your brain can do, and they have figured out how much like storage space on a hard drive it would take up.
Oh yeah.
And that is not
consciousness to data conversion rate.
And the thing is it's not it is an astronomical number, but it's not outside of the realm of possibility.
Right.
Is what they were saying.
Yeah.
He's like, it's going to take like so many petabytes or whatever, which is like bigger than a terabyte or something.
Right.
So it's like it's going to take a whole lot of space, but it's like, but the idea is feasibly you could have a hard drive with your, I mean, quote unquote consciousness. Exactly. And he's like, and if we needed to, let's say in the future, we could take that and upload it into a body. And I was like, we're like getting.
Like you stick it on your computer and the icon is just my
me.
memories / JPEG.
Just me holding up a little peace sign.
Yeah.
I just want to be on my own thumb drive, please. I just want to carry my consciousness.
Never leave home without me.
I want to carry my consciousness in my pocket.
For emergencies.
Just for emergency, be able to upload myself. Mm-hmm. But again, like I was saying before, this is a story about a special ops team
public
of
security section 9.
Yeah, is like a special ops team of like highly trained specialized units for Like, what was the specific purpose again? Was it just like a Homeland Security type thing, or like a
just about Homeland Security, foreign affairs, or at least dealing with foreign affairs in some cases. They're a jack of all trades, really.
I figured, okay, but yeah, regardless, they're they do a great job, and boy, can I say the gadgets and the guns, dude. I'm telling you,
it is beautiful.
I would love to like have the cloaking ability.
Oh yeah, thermoptic camouflage.
Dude, how cool would it be to be able to like, especially if I was to like work in like some sort of surveillance job or like be a special agent of some kind, being able to have thermoptic just camouflage and be able to I was like, that is so cool. Being able to sneak around and be, all kinds of gather intel and stuff sounds so fun and
it's
kind of
awesome.
Crazy.
Now, my favorite aspect of this universe are the think tanks, the Tachikoma or Fuchikoma,
right,
that are depicted in the manga or the show.
Yes,
and they are not included in this movie.
I realized that
I was so upset
the first time we saw the big one at the end of the movie.
That's just a straight up tank.
Yeah,
ain't no think about it.
But whenever I saw it, I was like, where's my little guys that we were talking about? Because I forgot they
my
children. I forgot they're even in this like this universe. Because again, they just weren't.
For whatever reason, I can't. I
guess they were just incorporated.
They gave a reason like a while back that I looked into it, but I can't remember why they weren't included.
Right. And so, but this is so was it a manga first or was it a
Yes, it was a manga first.
Got it. Wow. I believe you've answered this question for me before, but I want to go ahead and ask it again. Was the live action with Scarlett Johansson any good? Or was it all right?
It's worth a watch.
Okay.
It's really pretty.
That's what I figured. I've heard it is aesthetically
for
beautiful.
Sure. What they did was they just took a bunch of different parts from, I want to say, the books and some of the shows and just kind of slapped it all together.
Really?
Into a movie.
So it's kind of its own standalone thing?
Right.
I see.
Just like everything else in the series.
Yes, it's just its own thing.
Right.
Well, I had kind of mentioned this to Dylan. At the top of the movie was playing through Fallout 4's storyline.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I thought I'm just going to go on a little bit of a rabbit trail with this, is I thought the execution of that story may not have been the best, but I loved the culmination that led up to it.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've played any of the other games, but there are little tidbits throughout the series as you go along about there is the Commonwealth and there is a secret underground of the Commonwealth that involves highly advanced technologies.
Yeah.
And it's not said often, but it's by a few people that are intelligent enough or smart enough that you're like, you're a crazy coot. I believe most things you say, but not all of it.
Right.
And every time you start talking about this whole Commonwealth nonsense, everyone kind of is like, oh my God, here he goes again, talking about the Commonwealth. And of course, talking about whatever else he's talking about.
How about you start talking about some uncommon wealth?
Yes, exactly. And so whenever you actually get to what is known as the Commonwealth area in that game, and of course, surprise, surprise, everyone's still freaking out about how, again, the conspiracy theory seems to have grown more into like, oh, they're nabbing up our children and killing our people and replacing them with robots. And you're like, no, not really. They're not doing that. And then lo and behold,
oh my God,
that's what they're doing. I feel so like I can't believe this. And then but they, I love the idea of that, of just like this like trickling in of this important information kind of thing, where it's like
this brush it off your shoulder like whatever.
Yeah. This doesn't feel like that, but it has that same sort of like, for me at least, there's a large there's big scenes where there's like population, and you can't really tell if they look normal or are they also synthetic. You can't really tell.
Right.
And that kind of idea is like kind of the scary part about it, is like how many of these people are like us and how many people are not, and it's kind of that blurs that line between what is considered
just
like just is what it is. Yeah, I don't know.
it'd be a dream for me for this kind of stuff like full body prosthesis to get as common as it is. Well, no, that's not fair, because even in their universe, full body prosthesis isn't as common.
Really?
Only in like extreme cases, I think, is it required.
Right.
But yeah,
that's interesting.
You're really cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to. There's something in particular I was want to talk about, and I can't quite remember. I didn't write a note about it.
Oh yeah.
But there's like, I can't think about it. But towards the end of the movie, when we start talking about this whole puppet master thing, and more kind of comes out about how he is this AI and all that.
Yeah.
So he merged with her.
Mm-hmm.
That whole thing, that whole process was complete, and he was saying so. What he was trying to say, I think, in the moment is that they're going to merge together. He's going to then die, sort of.
I will have achieved death.
Yes, because he merged, and she will be the prominent, I guess, personality or some new version of her.
Right.
And what did she get out of it? Did she have? It was like she has the limitless possibility of the net or whatever.
Yes, she basically gained the ability to live without a physical body.
Really?
To just have her consciousness roaming the net.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
I loved it because again, he said a quote, or he said something specific, and it was something along the lines of, I don't have a physical body. I can't create offspring. Mm-hmm. And she's like, well,
I have nothing to leave when I die.
Yeah, no legacy to leave behind or something like that. And she was like, you can't just make a copy. And he's like, well, that's just a
fucking copy. That kind of defeats the purpose, doesn't it?
Not exactly what it is. He's like, it's not what I want. I want something that's like a variety, something that's going to a legacy.
New.
Yes. And then of course that's kind of what so he has this whole, I'm saying all this because this I thought was obviously it's the climax of the movie,
right.
But I thought it was so cool how literal it was.
Yeah.
So he goes to this whole discussion about this. They end up merging. The whole thing is complete or whatever. And then at the end of their discussion, he was saying I think she allows the whole everything to be merged together and everything. Right. There's a variety. There's an offspring of some kind, and she moves on. And the very next scene that she's waking up, she's in a child's body.
Yeah.
Talking about again, a very literal form of right. You are now a new version of yourself kind of thing. And of course they brush it off with, it's Bato? Bato. I always want to say Batu, or I don't know.
Yeah. He's my favorite character.
He is a cool character. We'll talk about him in a second. But he walks in as it's the only body I can find on the black market.
Right, not my taste. Really.
He brushed it off as that.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, she even talks about how as her partner, he asks so is he still inside there in your head or whatever, or is it just
are you still you? Basically?
Are you still you? Yeah, asking. I mean, as any of us would, I think if it's your friend, you get some guy or some AI sucked into your head.
She technically responds with, "Well, yes and no."
Yes, exactly. It's well,
I'm a new me.
Yeah, technically the old person that you knew is no longer here, so it's kind of, I don't know. That whole idea of that's really cool.
She's still the same.
Yeah, we all know. She just has new powers and thinks she's special.
Right. She's stronger.
Yeah, I'm Major 2.0.
Right.
Yeah. The idea of all that is really cool, but it also, that for me, that's where it gets really scary.
Mm-hmm. Is
once we start tiptoeing into and this is where I was trying to save this for the end. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get kind of into this heavy?
Bato.
Yeah.
Bato.
I'll put a pin in what I'm talking about. Bato, I think, is such a cool character.
His dynamic that he's got with the Major is one of my favorite things about this series.
He's a cool partner character.
Mm-hmm.
Just a good friend.
Yeah.
He just has that. He has that I don't know. He's always there for you type vibe.
Oh yeah.
Where it's just, I don't know. He's like a big
he's
menacing presence.
A hulking mass of a man.
But he's also kind of feels like a big teddy bear to the ones that he actually cares about. He's a really cool guy.
Mm-hmm.
And again, because he has those like his like built-in eye things, whatever, he seems more scary than he probably actually is.
Yeah.
Because he's very I don't want to say sterile, but just I don't know. I guess what humans would consider probably like a very natural thing, looking at the eyes of a person.
Oh yeah.
And that's just shielded behind these like mechanical visors,
cylinders.
You're
stuck in your head.
It makes it feel more cold, but his actions I think speak louder than just his appearance.
For sure. He's got a big enough personality that the almost monotone aspect of his face, I guess you could say, is overshadowed by it.
Right. I believe that. I also liked, what was the other guy's name with the revolver?
Togusa.
I loved that character.
Mm-hmm.
I love
the everyman.
I loved that they just kind of ragged, or at least the major kind of ragged on him a little bit, but also was like, that's why I chose you, because you are you.
Right.
It's like, you are a person. And again, because he's actually a human with like very little cybernetics.
Yeah.
So again, he's kind of the human element.
All he's got are some chips in his head
for
his job, and that's it.
Yeah. He's the human element of the team, or the kind of more... you said organic. That was the word you used. You said the more organic aspect of this machine kind of thing, which I thought was really cool. Yeah. And the fact that he used like an old-fashioned revolver or like a big revolver type thing, it just kind of, again, was more of a literal...
Like everybody asks him why he uses it, and he's just like, because I like it.
Because it is, I like it.
I wanna.
Yeah. Which I think, like I said, it also, like I said, some of it's, how would you say? Some of it's, I guess, more... what's the word I'm looking for? Mm-hmm. Some of it is literal, and some of it is like metaphorical.
Yeah.
So like with some of like the, he's a human, and it's kind of in this like, he's in this kind of he's the error of this machine, kind of like, the thing that kind of throws the rinse in the machine. Right. But then he also is kind of this organic human that also like has this likes and dislikes, and why do you like that gun? He's like, I just like. And again, like I said, the physical representation is it this old revolver. He actually loves it, and I'm like, that's so cool. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think that's awesome.
Yeah,
as a character. But to go back to what I was talking about before, when you start talking about this whole like computer and AI and uploading your consciousness onto a computer. Mm-hmm. It's like at that point, like, what is consciousness kind of thing?
Yeah.
And it's like a heavy question. I know that. But it's like, man.
It's cool.
It's cool, but it's also scary too. Because it's like it starts getting into like, if we get to a part where like, this is where my mind goes. If we get to the point where we can start uploading our consciousness onto like, a digital space.
Yeah, getting a Dyson sphere going.
Right. It's like how, like who gets what?
How?
Yeah, how? Hear me out. How?
Well, it's like we're gonna figure that out.
It's like who gets the priority over like, or like a backup of your data.
I'm sure it's like, something you could just like apply for.
Probably so.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of one of those things where like, I don't know, like a class system of things where I was like, you have to pay a certain amount of money to like.
Who's essential, who's non-essential. Who's
right. It's that. It's
who
like,
do we not give a shit about?
It's like the morality aspect of it, where it's like this kind of, and again, also, like I said,
and that's just if they decide to make it work that way.
Right.
I mean, it could just be like a widely accepted thing that anyone has access to.
Right.
But,
the idea of having my consciousness is having some form of synthetic body that I can upgrade and fix parts on and do maintenance on, like a machine.
Right.
And then I can just have my consciousness on it, and then of course if something breaks
or goes, if you would.
Yes. If it breaks or goes out of date, I can just transfer it over to another body of some kind. I think that'd be so cool. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's also like, but if we all have that, at one point do like a critical mass thing I'm trying to get at is like, let's just say throughout the entire human history, we were able to do that. So it's like, would a person like live that whole time, or that's where my mind starts to go, is like, then you have this like, you have so many, there's already so many.
Does my consciousness have an expiration date? Is that what you're asking?
Kind of, but it's also like, but there's also so many people that are living right now. But just think of every single person that has ever lived has the ability to have that. It's like, so anybody now and anybody in the future, we're already dealing with probably like a lot of people involved.
Yeah, that'd be something.
And so that's the thing for me, is like, there's a part where like, wouldn't we meet some critical mass where it's like, we can't fit anymore, because it's like, because again,
I don't know,
or it's like we have these old generation, like for me, for instance, if I'm first generation, upload my consciousness kind of thing,
computerman.
10 years down the line, you're like, you're generation 1 consciousness, and we're gonna have to phase you out because we don't have any more space. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For me, that's where my mind goes, of like,
man.
Yeah.
That'd be funny.
That's where it starts getting hard.
Sorry, bro, you're obsolete. Gotta cut you out.
Sorry, boomer, you're gonna get deleted.
Oh my god.
Just gonna drag you in the recycle bin.
Damn.
Yeah. That's where my mind goes. Or again, if somebody so desires to, like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Can I just unplug myself?
Right. It's like, can you just delete yourself?
Right.
Or do you have to have do you have to sign a waiver? You know?
Like, is it okay for you to die? Yes or no?
No. Are you sure?
Maybe.
Are you really sure you want to do this? Check the box. You have to have a next.
Would you like to quit the game?
You have to you want to save your progress.
Oh God.
You have to have like a next of kin also sign this document that says that they're, I don't know. It's just, like I said, that's where my mind goes to, that like crazy level of like,
it's
at that point, what is life?
Yeah.
And then it's like, that's where we're getting too deep into like what is what, and
it's something else. That's
right.
For damn sure.
Exactly.
I just like how it works.
That's cool. That's cool.
As it's depicted in this series.
Right. And then of course also, if we're all synthetic humans, we don't got to worry about the atmosphere anymore.
Right.
Watch that go straight to the garbage can.
Well, no, I mean,
I'm kidding.
No, the brain still needs oxygen to function.
Right. We'll find a way to put filters in our put some special filters in our nose, and or I don't know.
These bodies they construct certainly account for that. I'm sure it's just not something I thought about until just now.
Yeah, I don't. Like I said, I'm just throwing out hypotheticals at this point, just random nonsense I'm thinking of, because man, that's, like I said, it's really
cool.
It's really cool, but it's also kind of scary too.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. I think it's really fun. That's so. I like the idea of this, and I think it's so cool. But like I said, it also is it opens up all sorts of crazy doors.
Oh yeah.
So is there any one particular moment in the movie that's your favorite? Movie,
the tank.
The tank.
Just the Major's fight with that tank is the highlight.
It did move like an animal. It had a very strange
It's only because it's shaped like an insect.
Yes, and it
still has robotic movements, but because of how it's shaped, you could think it was indistinguishable from an insect.
Right. It felt like it was defending its young. Is what it felt like.
Yeah.
Like watching it move and do certain things. Watching it was like it was protecting its children almost.
Yeah.
That's why
there's still there's a pilot in that thing. Like, it's not unmanned.
Oh, I remember that. Right. Wow. I mean, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's cool though. I'm trying to think. Oh, my favorite part. There's like certain fight sequences with the cloak.
Oh yeah.
Where she's just just ripping this dude around. Like I'm talking about flipping him over and flipping him around. I'm like, man, that is so cool.
It's awesome.
He just looks like he's fighting an actual ghost.
Right.
He's getting his ass whooped.
This is what a stand battle looks like.
Yes.
To a normal person.
Right. Oh, that's so good. Man. that's so cool. Well, I'm not there's like I said, there's other moments that I'm trying to think of. I can't quite think of right now that I know. I thought it was so much fun. Is there anything else you want to talk about for this movie?
Man.
Anything else you want to bring up?
We really need to, at this point, we need to start over with Standalone Complex.
Yes, correct.
That is going to be required viewing.
Yeah. How long is that show?
It's like
a couple seasons, or
yeah, it's got 2 seasons, and I don't remember how many episodes there are in total.
Nice. I remember it was not short. It was kind of substantial.
Right. Yeah.
Another one we need to watch. Cowboy Bebop.
Yes.
Another one we need to watch. Cowboy Bebop. I have been itching to watch that again.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I miss that
show.
So
good.
Such a good show. What a vibe.
Yeah.
And then last but most certainly not least, I said this on the podcast last week, and I was wrong.
Oh, right.
I was ahead of myself. We're recording this the day before Dylan's birthday.
Oh, boy.
Square, square, square. Oh, wait. Nope. I did the wrong one.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So, yeah, by the time you guys hear this, it will have been at least 2 days past. But I got some cool gifts for Dylan, and I'm super excited about it.
plural gifts, plural.
Well, just I think it's like Mallory also got you something, so I'm considering our gifts plural.
I wouldn't have to do that.
Anyways.
If it's anything super nice, I'll have to kill you both.
No. Definitely give me a solid punch in the arm. Don't kill me, though. All right. You heard it here first. I was able to talk him out of it.
For now.
Right. But anyways, thank you guys so much for listening. I really appreciate it. This has been a fun one.
Blah, 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 blah.
No. I didn't mean
the song and dance.
Here we go. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Oh, my God.
I'm kidding, no. I really do appreciate you guys listening. It's been a lot of fun doing this show all these many times we've done it.
Which one is this going to be? 60-something?
Yeah, we're getting there. I want to say 50-something. I'll look that up while I'm saying this.
I could have sworn we had broken.
If you guys are looking for us, we have a Linktree /Ian Wolf. You can find all of our social media links, all of the podcast stuff, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all that good stuff. You know where to find us. It's easy. Just type in the Aftermath, and you can find us on any of the platforms, all that kind of stuff like that. This episode is going to be 62.
Oh, jeez.
So it's very nice. But until next time,
see ya.
Bye-bye.